Hi, hello friends, this is Dharanz. I am welcoming you once again to my video Code with Dharanz. In this video we're gonna see how to create new project with MVC and what all the folder structure MVC has as boilerplate content. Before you see this video, make sure you have seen my previous video, what is MVC, what is MVC's architecture. It might be helpful to you to continue this video. If you're not seeing that, it might be difficult to you to understand what I am saying in after minutes. So I have given the video link in the description below. Go and check it out and let's get started. Now what you guys seeing here, this is Visual Studio 2017 version professional I'm using. I just started to use Visual Studio 2017 couple of months ago. Then this is fantastic when I compare to Visual Studio 2015 and the later version. In Visual Studio 2017 we have lots of features called new installer, better IDE than previous versions, new get package manager console, they have implemented a lot. Then we can manage our performance, we can do mobile development, it supports JavaScript frameworks well. You can develop AngularJS and React Native applications in a Visual Studio itself. These are lots of features that Visual Studio 2017 has. If you don't have Visual Studio 2017, no problem. Whatever I teach here, you can do that in Visual Studio 2015, 13 and 12 too. Maybe the IDE could be different, but all the methodologies, structure of performance is all the same. Now let's get started. If you want to create new project in Visual Studio 2017, just go in the top left corner, you can see file, just click file, new project. Instead of it, you can use a shortcut key, Ctrl+Shift+N. Otherwise you can go and create a new project here, recent project templates. You have blank solution and what are the templates that you have used before. Now go, this was an ancient method, new project. Now you have a window open dialog box. In this dialog box you have to select what kind of application that you're gonna use. ASP.NET Core, ASP.NET Web Application. Before you get it, you have to go and select C# Web. Inside the web you can get the ASP.NET Web Applications. Here we have two kind of .NET frameworks. Here is a .NET Core, .NET Web Application. Here's .NET Framework. What is the difference between .NET Core and .NET Framework? These two frameworks are used to create server-side applications which runs Windows, Linux and Unix platforms and shares a same kind of API configurations. And Visual Studio .NET Core Web Application, it doesn't support to create desktop applications with UI, but framework will support you to create desktop applications with UI. This is not only a one differentiation, there are lots of distinguish between core and web application. We will see that in a later videos. To create our application, here we should provide our application name. I am keeping this as sample app. Then make sure you are giving a proper location to identify them properly. Browse. I'm gonna select E drive. In the E drive I have already created a folder. I'm just selecting with the that folder. Select folder. When you change the name, the solution name will be changed. If you want, you can change that too. Make sure you are keeping .NET Framework versions. Create directory for the solution, then only your solution will create a solution icon in a folder. When you click OK, it will take some time to load. Now it again opens a dialog box. In this dialog box it asks ASP.NET 4.6.1 templates, empty, web forms, MVC. This all are MVC application that we can create, but we want a default boilerplate content here. Now if you click MVC, you have to select empty, you have to select MVC. If there is MVC, you won't get any boilerplate content such as controller folder, view folder. You have to create that manually. Instead of it, I gonna select MVC and click OK. It'll take some time to create. Here we go. Our project has been created successfully. When the project creates, you will get this blank screen. You need Solution Explorer to view your files. For that, just go to View. Here you can find the Solution Explorer. Click it out. Here we go. Here you can get your Solution Explorer. Here is the only place you can find all your application solution folders. Here, this is a solution file. This is a project which has been created inside our solution. Now, let's get started to see what are the folders we have. First, we have a project. With that project, we have all our codes inside this web project. If that is web, you can get this global icon in front of the window. The kind of icon they have created for web projects. Then you have properties. You have all project properties out here. Then references. What are the project libraries third-party application has been implemented, has been created along with the project. When you create a project as a boilerplate, all contents will be here. Even if you have any your custom project class libraries, you have to add that in as a reference. Then app data folder. What does it mean by app data? App data contains application data files including .mdf, which means DB files, .xml, and other data stored files used to store applications local databases too. Then app store. This is a main important folder in all our project. When you are running your project, the compiler goes first to app start folder and take your application to the browser and runs it out there. First, you have bundle.config file. Just open it. In bundle.config, what does it mean by bundle.config? All your JS and CSS file, which means cascading style sheet and JavaScript files, will be bundled out here. In this, throughout the MVC course, we won't use any CDN kind of links into the HTML files. Everything will be bundled. What is the usage of bundle? It's more security, more highly efficiency. Each and every time when the application loads, it won't go and fetch the data from the origin of the library where the package exists. We are creating all the packages inside the bundle.config, and it will take all the references, libraries, packages from this file itself. And filter.config. Filters are pre-processing and processing of custom business logic. If you want to implement such custom business logic like session timeout each and every 5 minutes and authentication authorization for users, you can create all filters, common business logics out here. Then route.config. This is the most important file in the app.config folder. This is the only file which application knows which controller or which HTML index file that we have to show first. This is the initial file that we have configured. I'll come to this file later after seeing what is controller here. Next, we have a content folder. Content folder, we have all of our CSS contents, CSS files, CSS plugins out here. And we have controller. Controller, I have already told you, controller is used to handle HTTP request. Here, this is a boilerplate content. We didn't create this controller yet. It has been created when the project created. and at the time of project created. Here you have all recent types. This is a basic C#. We'll come to the C# in later videos too. As I told you previous video, each and every controller will interact with one view. If you want to find this view, just right click on the function. You can see add view or go to view. If you click go to view, it will redirect to you the corresponding view. The router is doing this work. See, this is a view of the home page. This is what you can see when the application loads in a Chrome, in a browser. This is what you have in router.config. This is controller name, this is action name. We have only one controller and only one view. That's why the MVC itself created a default content, home as a controller and index as an action. Then fonts, you have all your application fonts here. Models, if you see the layer, if you saw my previous video, you could clarify what is model it is. Then scripts, all your JavaScript files. As we see, the content folder, like JavaScript files will be inside the scripts folder. Then views, this has an interaction with the controller. Each and every controller may contain one or more views. Here, home controller containing 3 kind of views. One is index view, next one is about view, then contact view. Here you have 3 CSS/HTML files out here: about, contact, and index. But when the application loads in a browser, you can see the index file because we have specified that in a router config file. Then shared folder. Shared folder is a common platform to create all your common HTML pages for our application. Here you have layout. Layout is a kind of master page. I will cover the topic in next video. Then you have favicon out here. Then global.asx. If you wanna run the abstract folder, you make sure you have given all the abstract contents, abstract methods in this application start global.asx file itself. Here you have register bundles. In the same register bundles we have in bundle.config. We have specified this method out here. Then package.js config file, you have all your packages, third-party plugins packages with version in this folder. Then webcore config, you have all your configuration, application settings, assembly references, DLL references out there in the file. Like a toolbox for our project. These are all a basic project folder structure which you have to know when you get into the MVC application. Now we're gonna run this application. Before you run it, please make sure you are setting your current project as set as startup project, and make sure you are going to properties, check whether you have a proper .NET Framework version specified that you have specified when you're creating a project. Then when you go to web, you have IIS Express and IIS URL. This URL you're gonna use in a browser to run your application. Create virtual directory. The virtual directory was created successfully, so you are ready to run your application in a browser. For run, just click this button. Now your application started to build. It compiles our application now. Here we go. Now our build has been done successfully without having any errors. When our build succeeded, it will open our default browser automatically here, but you are seeing this is our application. It's hosted successfully and running successfully. This is a fantastic thing about Visual Studio 2017. This has Bootstrap as a default content. What is Bootstrap? We will see in later videos. If you like these videos, just subscribe me, click a like button. If you have any queries, just comment me in the description box below. Then don't forget to share this video to your friends. In later videos, we're gonna see how to perform with MVC.NET application.